Hello and welcome in, friends, to another edition of Sports from the Couch here on Mercado Airwaves. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. I hope each and every one of you is safe and sound and enjoying your weekend. Normally, here on Sports from the Couch, when we're doing our confidence picks, it's high energy, lots of fun, music, promotions, and that's not how I want to start this episode today. Late Saturday night, early Sunday evening, a good man news of a good man passing away hit the timeline, and he was a former student of mine. I was a GA at the Illinois Center for Broadcasting, now known as the Illinois Media Center, and Illinois Media School, that is. And Barry Lucas was a good dude. He was a loving man. He always brought the energy. He always wanted to be great. He loved his family. He loved his friends. He was so proud of them. He was one of those guys that when I walked into my classroom and I was helping the teacher, the professor, the instructor get ready for the day, getting studios set up, making sure that they had their projects ready, he was the first one asking, what can he do more? What can he do to get better? What was he doing good? What was he doing bad? How can he help out his classmates? I saw somebody post, I think it was Mike. Shout out to Mike, who was part of his class, who put he was a uncle, a friend, a brother, and a father, all mixed into one. And that's what he was. And it's in 2021 when you've seen so much loss, whether it's hit you personally, privately, from afar, it still will never get easy. And I know his family will be hurting, but I hope that over time his spirit that was so big finds some peace and that he finds peace. You know, if you get the chance, just make sure you make these memories with people. Cherish it. Cherish conversations, whether they're family, friends, acquaintances, whatever it is. If you find good people, talk to them. Let them make an impact in your life and try maybe to make a little impact in theirs. I know Barry made one in my life. I hadn't seen the man in 5, 6, 7 years. And it was always just nothing but love. Always supportive. Whether I was getting engaged, he was there, sending me some love. My parents' birthdays, sending them love. My birthday and my siblings' birthday. That's the kind of dude he was. That's why in what I considered my sacred ground, my chapel, my safe haven here, when I'm talking to you guys, my friends, my family, the community that we love each other, whether we agree or disagree. The reason this is where I want to do this is because that's how special of a dude he was. And if it's impacting me this way and impacting all my coworkers, my former coworkers, all our little friends that came up together at that school, then I couldn't only imagine what his inner circle are feeling. So we love you guys. We're sending you all our love. And I just want to take this time to say Godspeed, rest in peace. Thank you for the memories. God bless Barry Lucas. You're the man. And we'll see you on the other side, brother. Hopefully some of these teams can bring you some championships so you can enjoy it up there. We'll be back here on Sports from the Couch here on Mercado Airwaves. Mike Mercado. Thank you for keeping it with us, guys. We are back here on Sports from the Couch here on Mercado Airwaves. We'll get right into it. Thank you for staying with us on that top of the hour for honoring a good man. I won't bore you guys with all the normal craziness that we do here on Sports from the Couch as we get ready for a football season. You guys know where to follow us on social media. We love you guys wherever you listen to us, watch us, whether it's the video or the podcast. Thank you guys so much. It really means the world to us. And, you know, on a day where we're feeling so emotional, I just want to thank you guys. And I think we should just go right ahead and let's get into some of this talk, right? It was a crazy Thursday night. I had Washington over the Giants. I got that pick correct. I put 9 points, 9 confidence points on that. If you're new here to Sports from the Couch on Mercado Airwaves, thank you guys for joining us. We do our confidence picks every single week. We are part of a league, a tournament with a bunch of other NFL fans, and if you're new to confidence picks, you have to pick your winner, and then you have to put weight on it. So you get, sometimes depending on how many bye weeks, you know what's going on, when everybody's playing, you have 16, up to 16 down to 1. and you put your confidence on who you think is going to win if you're sure they're going to win. It's kind of like Survivor, except the entire league, and it's week to week. But with that, I had Washington winning, and it was a lot closer than I did. I put 9 points on them, so a nice way to start the week. But we'll start up. We're doing it a little differently. I've already made my picks. Now I have them out for you guys on the screen, so you guys can see it right here. You guys don't have to watch me try to fandangle them. So I will read them out. We will talk about it, and we will talk a little bit of Bears versus Bengals. But let's get into, I have 16 confidence points on Tampa Bay beating Atlanta. I do think Atlanta is going to put some points on. I don't think Calvin Ridley and Matt Ryan are going to have that rough of a day like they did last week. Tampa Bay is good, right? Like, we know how good Tampa Bay is. I think from just what we watched last week, and they've had these 10 days to go into it. I think Tom Brady at home, it's weird to say at home in Tampa Bay, but I do think that this is a prime opportunity for Tampa Bay to win a good game. I think Atlanta is going to get right. They're too good offensively not to, at least with some of the weapons. They're missing Julio. That's a big thing. But Tampa Bay has to win this game. And when they're just so much better. And I'm not one of these dudes who's like all in on Tampa Bay. But if you look at their schedule and you look at how they played, they're going to be tough to beat. And they're going to go really, really far, I think. I have 15 confidence points on the Green Bay Packers beating the Detroit Lions. Green Bay at home. You talk about a team that needs a bounce back. It is this Green Bay Packers team. Now, Detroit made it interesting last week, granted, against San Francisco. San Francisco, we'll see how good they are. We'll talk about them in just a little bit. But with Green Bay, I've said this for the last few weeks, whether it's on the radio show or here on the podcast. It's going to go two ways for the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers is going to carry this team all the way to a Super Bowl loss, or there's going to be a mysterious injury that keeps him out the rest of the season, and he's going to find his way out to the Mile High City. That's my opinion. Those are the only two options that happen in Green Bay. I so happen to think that in this game, at least, they're going to beat up on Detroit, but you got to keep your eye on the Packers. I think there's a great possibility, a 51%, maybe that's a little too high. Let's say 60-40. I think 40% chance there's a real legit reason that Aaron Rodgers doesn't finish the season as a starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. I think how that plays out, I don't know, but I think that's the case. I have 14 confidence points on Cleveland over Houston. Cleveland's a legit team. If they were called the Green Bay Packers, if they were anybody else, they'd have more respect on their name. I've even disrespected their name a few times over the preseason, but they have the weapons. They look like they have the defense. We'll see if they could put it all together. With that, Houston's not playing the Jacksonville Jaguars anymore. They're playing a real football team. So I'm going with Cleveland and 14 confidence points on them. I have Buffalo over Miami. I think Buffalo bounces back after last week. They're a good team. They're a prime candidate for a team that gets that step back treatment for sure. But all the pieces are there. And it's week one. I'm not going to overreact, but I was very interested to see how Pittsburgh responded to that game and how Buffalo did. But I think Buffalo's going to get it right. I want to see that running game get a little bit more together. That defense needs to step up a little bit more. They're still there. I still think there's a good chance Buffalo makes it to the Super Bowl, obviously only after week one. But Miami, on the other hand, tough game against New England, beat New England. I thought New England and Bill Belichick would have a better game plan against Tua. But got to give it to Miami. This was a team that was almost a playoff team. So it's not like we should be surprised that they're not bad or that they were able to respond to a game that a lot of people had them the underdog in. So, and guess in that case, it was impressive, but for sure, I'm going with Buffalo in this matchup. I'm putting 12 confidence points on the Rams beating the Colts. I don't know how good the Colts are for real. The division is bad, so there's a good chance they're just going to run away with it. But the Rams are a Super Bowl contender. The Rams can win the whole damn thing. Matthew Stafford has always been an MVP-esque quarterback. He just played in Detroit. He's got injury problems. We all know that. It's the NFL. But if everything goes right, this team could win the whole damn thing. That is for sure. So I got the Rams in that one. I have the Saints beating Carolina. I have 11 confidence points on that. I want to see if Jameis Winston could throw another 5 touchdowns. Unbelievable. But yeah, I'm going with the Saints on that one. And Drew Brees, pretty decent over in the booth. I have 10 confidence points on Kansas City over Baltimore. I really was high on Baltimore this offseason, this preseason. But those injuries are adding up. And I don't think it's Lamar's fault. Like, we're going to spotlight him because he is the quarterback. It is the way we cover football in this time. And Kansas City, I mean, what they did against Cleveland, the fact that they're always in it. And this is the funny thing about Patrick Mahomes, right? Like, he's spectacular, but he almost has that Jim Edmonds thing of it where he makes it a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. Or maybe that's just how good that he is in the most unreal situations. He's able to escape, able to make a big play. He is such a frustrating quarterback to watch if he's not your quarterback. If you're not a Kansas City Chiefs fan, or if you don't have him in fantasy football, or you're playing against him in fantasy football. He is so frustrating to watch because he is so damn good. I'm going with Kansas City in that matchup. I have Denver beating Jacksonville. I'm putting 8 confidence points on that one. We can move on. Not much news on that one. I have Seattle beating Tennessee in Seattle. 7 confidence points on this one. I need desperately A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry, like a lot of you do, to go off in this game. Both teams are good. Both teams are candidates, again, kind of like Buffalo, to take that step back or legitimize themselves as a contender. Seattle doesn't have a defense, in my opinion. In my opinion, they're going to have games where they make big plays. This is the NFL. They're going to have a few interceptions, or you're going to think like, wow, is the defense back? It's not consistent enough. And Russell Wilson's going to constantly have to keep this team on his back, constantly have to keep them in games. To see Pete Carroll really go in on that, that's going to be fascinating. Because we all know, we were here in Chicago, we wanted Russ for, the 3 weeks that it was a rumor. You let Russ cook. They let Russ cook, not many teams are going to beat them. Especially at home or in a neutral field. Tennessee, you get Derrick Henry right. If Ryan Tannehill could match just a little bit of what happened last year, Julio and A.J. Brown are going to figure it out. They're too talented not to. There's always that one team that kind of has that step back, and they're legitimately a prime candidate for it. But, they can beat Seattle. I think before, right, whenever we saw a matchup going to Seattle, we're like, ooh, that's a tough one. Tennessee could go in and beat Seattle, especially if Derrick Henry has 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. But I'm going with Seattle in this matchup with 7 confidence points. I'm putting 6 confidence points on Arizona beating Minnesota. Minnesota could be in trouble, and Zimmer could be out of a job. We already know that he's one of the betting favorites along with Matt Nagy. Can't think of the third head coaches, but not good for Minnesota. Kirk Cousins causing a lot of headaches to not perform. So, and Arizona, Kyler Murray, did you see that play where he literally jumped from his 2 feet and threw it 50 yards? I think it was to DeAndre Hopkins. Come on, man. That dude's a specimen. He's special, but he was too short. Don't forget that there are experts out there who said he was too short to play in the National Football League. Scouts, huh? I got Arizona with 6 confidence points. All right. We'll do a little bit of pregame since we're recording this on a Sunday. We are just about an hour away from kickoff of all the afternoon early games. Cincinnati and Chicago, I am putting 5 confidence points on the Bengals from Cincinnati beating the Chicago Bears. These are 2 similar teams going in different directions, right? Young prospect quarterbacks, but one is actually playing. Both defenses are suspects. Both teams are trying to transition to a new era. What's the difference, though? One team in Cincinnati has done everything it could after seeing that they made a horrible decision of putting their quarterback last year, their rookie quarterback, against a horrible offensive line. What they address the offensive line as much as they can. They get weapons for the man, and they give him reps. That's how that happens. And then he goes out and beats Minnesota, a team that you have a hard time beating. That's what happened. And he so happens to now be coming against your team and your home stadium, where the former quarterback of that team couldn't get the ball 15 yards out. Through a red zone interception. Is trying hard. No hate on Andy Dalton, but these are the facts, right? What did the Bears seem to not be able to do? Cover good wide receivers. What does Cincinnati have? They don't just have a good wide receiver core. They got a killer behind center. This is not going to be good. Now, what's funny about this game, what's intriguing about this game, what kind of has me going cuckoo, and maybe it's because I'm too close to the situation, this could totally be a game where the Bears shut down the Cincinnati Bengals and come out with a 24-10 win, which is crazy to think Cincinnati only putting up 10 points, but we've seen this before. The falseness of this defense, that's bad now. This defense is bad now. And we trick ourselves. The rose-colored glasses, right? We've had a little bit too much to drink. We got the liquid courage. Oh, the Bears are going to win this division. They're due for that game. They're always due for that game. And against a team like Cincinnati, who's good, interesting, but not going to make a playoff run, not ready to make a playoff run, this is the type of team and game the Bears win. But I think reality still sets in. And I hope reality still sets in. We heard a report, I think it was from Ian Rappaport, that there's going to be more plays for Justin Fields, more throwing plays, and that people are very excited. Of course they are, because this has always been the plan. It's always been around from here to week 4 to get him in the game. It was crazy that all this happened. Actually, check out the last episode of the good of Sports from the Couch, we talked about this, how upsetting it was that this was all a faux quarterback competition. But all these things, Cincinnati's the better team. It doesn't matter what other X factors, whatever other like intangible things you want to bring up. Cincinnati's the better offense, and the Bears' defense sucks. Cincinnati wins. I'm putting 5 confidence points on them. I have 4 confidence points on Vegas beating Pittsburgh. What a fun matchup. We'll see. Vegas can be good. Pittsburgh can be good. Ben Roethlisberger is old and can't throw the ball. And there's going to be problems with that offense, but they won an important game last week, so they do what they do best. And can Mike Tomlin be the head coach of the Chicago Bears? We'll move on. I would love that. I'm putting 4 confidence points on Vegas over Pittsburgh. I have 3 confidence points on New England beating the Jets. Remember how last week I said Bill Belichick is going to take a young quarterback out of his game and dominate? I meant that for this week against Zach Wilson. I think the New England defense is good. Maybe not as legit or as top tier as the media wanted you to think. But I think New England wins this one, and they cannot go down 0-2. I mean, they can, and they go 12-2 the rest of the West for the next few weeks. But I think New England wins this one. 2 confidence points on the game of the week, Chargers versus Dallas. What? I wonder what the over-under is. But it has to be at least, 45 points? Like, they're going to put it on there. I'm going with the Chargers to win this one. It could go either way. I think Dallas probably is the better team. But I think the Chargers are just going to find a way to win this one. It's going to be, I want to see if the stadium is more filled with Cowboys fans, obviously, because the Cowboys are so used to that happening to them. It'll be funny to see it the other way around. But I think Justin Herbert and Dak Prescott are due for a shootout, but I'm going with the Chargers and 2 confidence points. And finally, 1 confidence points on Philadelphia beating the San Francisco 49ers, because who knows who either one of these teams are? Who knows if Jalen Hurts is the real deal? Who knows if Devontae Smith is going to be a top-tier wide receiver? What's going to happen with this San Francisco team that almost choked out that game, completely threw up that game to the Detroit Lions, but they still won. And with Trey Lance being hurt, but he had that big first touchdown. I think Philadelphia wins this one. I think Philadelphia is better than San Francisco. I think San Francisco is a little overrated, but who knows with these 2 teams? Who really knows with these 2 teams? But what we do know is I have made my picks. They are official, which means it is now your turn to let us know who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to lose? How did I make my picks? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they indifferent? Let me know your thoughts. We're all over social media. Twitter at Mike A Media. Instagram, Mike Mercado Media. And of course, be interactive with the show on Twitter at Couch Sports Talk. Like, rate, review, and shares wherever you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. And, of course, subscribe to us and hit that little notification bell on YouTube, youtube.com/Mercado Airwaves Network to check out the video version of the podcast, as well as Roku at The Rewind Sports 60. Support us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves Network and at Teespring at Mercado Airwaves if you would like to get some swag and look your best. Facebook.com/Mercado Airwaves. And, of course, keep up to date with all the podcasts that we're doing on the network by following us on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves. Make sure you check us out every few days over on Twitch. Subscribe to us to be notified when we do replays or live reactions. That's twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Enjoy all the games. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Tell someone you know that you haven't talked to in a while that you love them. Say hello to somebody. Rekindle a friendship. Shout out to Barry Lucas. We'll see you on the other side, my brother. I'm Mike Mercado. We will see you on the next edition of Sports from the Couch here on Mercado Airwaves Network.